Hello again. In this lesson, I'll cover prompt engineering. There are, of course, various ways to do this. Essentially, prompt engineering involves crafting precise and effective prompts to guide ChatGPT in generating accurate and relevant responses. You'll need to do this to optimize your interactions with ChatGPT to achieve your desired outcomes. Why do you need to do this? Because effective prompt engineering enhances ChatGPT's performance, ensuring clear, accurate, and contextually appropriate responses. Crafting your prompts will help you maximize ChatGPT's utility across various scenarios and will aid in improving your response accuracy and overall experience. You'll need to provide context-specific and precise instructions so you can shape the generated response to be relevant for your desired outcome. Remember, at any point, you can pause or replay sections of this lesson if you need to. Let's get started. First off, let's start with a simple prompt structure. Here, the instruction or question is the primary component that guides ChatGPT. If you haven't set up custom instructions, or if you need a purpose-specific response, you may want to include who you are and what you do before this. The context or background information deals with any additional details that help clarify the instruction or question, and desired format or style specifies how you want the response to be formatted or styled. Let's use an example about the need for exercise perhaps. For the first part, let's put in, write a brief summary of the benefits of regular exercise. Let me show you what happens if we insert just this into ChatGPT. ChatGPT provides a brief summary in the form of a paragraph. Now let's add context to it. Let's put in, the information should be relevant for working professionals in their early 30s. Let's place both these parts as a fresh prompt. ChatGPT provides a similar summary, but tweaked for the context of working professionals in their early 30s. But say you want to make it suitable for Twitter perhaps. You'll want to define the output, and specifically for Twitter, perhaps in 3 different parts. Split the response into 3 key points in the form of individual social media posts in the form of Twitter threads. Let's try a fresh conversation with ChatGPT with this entire simple but structured prompt. Now ChatGPT intelligently provides 3 threaded tweets. It split the response content into meaningful sections, each being able to hold its own. Posted as a Twitter thread, these would make a lot of sense together. Always keep in mind the bit about generative models being very creative and they're being able to hallucinate. If you're developing content that is factual in nature, and especially if it might impact people's lives, always re-verify ChatGPT's responses by finding relevant and authoritative sources to back up anything you might publish. Now, let's look at complex prompt structures. A complex prompt often involves multi-part instructions. Multi-part instructions need to be specific, often sequential steps, or multiple components that ChatGPT's response should address. To demonstrate this, let me use an example for developing the structure of a simple social strategy to market an ebook. First, what do we want and for what? I need to create a social media content strategy. This is for a new ebook on digital marketing that covers digital strategy, planning, assets, content, and promotions. First, let's put just this section into ChatGPT to see how it responds. The response covers a strategy outline, including content themes, platform selection, content calendar, engagement strategy, and promotion. This essentially explains what to do. Now let's add more to the prompt for increased definition about what to say and when to say it. Remember, you can pause or replay sections of this lesson if you need to. Here, I've added in a requirement asking ChatGPT to provide examples of posts and to meet the recommendations, a calendar of posts in the formats and types suggested by ChatGPT. If you recollect, ChatGPT memorizes conversations so as to be able to provide elaborations or revised responses in context to previous interactions. Taking that into account, let's put in these 2 portions of the prompt as a follow-up instruction. As you can see, the response is in the form of individual posts where ChatGPT has provided platform-wise types and formats, along with an example of what to say and the kind of visualization to go with it. It's done the same for week 2, for week 3, and week 4. To extend the multi-part instruction, let's add one more instruction asking ChatGPT to make the response a lot more consumable. Let's ask the model to provide the calendar in a table format. ChatGPT has converted the response into a simple table that's easily understandable. If you recollect the portion about setting up personalization from the ChatGPT settings lesson, you may recollect the various features covered in the second portion of ChatGPT personalization. You can plug in specific ChatGPT features or capabilities to craft sharper and highly precise prompts. To help you along, I've put together a prompt crafting template which you can utilize to structure your prompts. This template takes into consideration a wide range of prompt instructions that would be useful in crafting most ChatGPT prompts. I've sectioned it into 3 separate portions. The first, what you want ChatGPT to do. The second, context or background for ChatGPT to consider. And the third, how you want ChatGPT to respond. Filling in or selecting details for the cells in column B based on the criteria of cells in column A will structure the draft of a prompt contained within the blue cells in column E. As an example, I've filled in details into the cells in column B and the sheet has compiled the draft of a prompt in the cells colored in blue. You can utilize this template by editing, deleting, or adding to the cells in column B. If you leave any of the cells blank, just remember to remove any unused punctuation from the output draft in column E after you copy the prompt section. You do not need hundreds of pre-crafted prompts since most may not meet your response criteria or sharply match your context, which is why it's best to know how to craft your own prompts. Once you've put in the details you require into column B, and just remember you don't need to fill in everything, just the portions you need for your specific scenario, you'll need to copy the draft of each section into a notepad, edit it if you need to, remove any unused punctuation, and then go on to use that prompt in ChatGPT. I'm going to copy the first prompt section, then I paste it into a notepad, perform any edits if needed, then select it and paste it into ChatGPT. So in this prompt, I've asked ChatGPT to wait for additional instructions. You can of course provide all your instructions all at once. Let me put in the next 2 sections in that manner. Here's the second part of the prompt. Let me copy it from here, paste it into the notepad, copy the last portion, and paste it into the notepad as well. This particular prompt is meant to create blog sections for thought leadership on digital marketing. There are specific features for ChatGPT to consider. There's a broad audience definition and benefits for the audience. It includes customer value propositions as well. There's a reference PDF file of an article which I'll be uploading as well. The final portion of the prompt lets ChatGPT know how to behave. For demonstration purposes, I've gone ahead and utilized every feature and capability so that the model is very precise in the manner it behaves. Of course, you don't need to use every single one of these each time you craft a prompt. You do, however, need to provide context and maintain a degree of precision. So let me copy the prompt, paste it into ChatGPT, upload the referenced PDF article, and hit enter. Since my prompt included a definition of audiences in London, ChatGPT's response is region-specific. As needed, ChatGPT has provided blog sections along with an overview, content focus, and an example for each. From here, if I wanted to generate a complete article, I would use a shorter but complex prompt to generate content for each section. You could also use multi-part instructions to accomplish this. After you've used it a few times, you'll intuitively recognize the criteria you need to use to get ChatGPT to behave in a certain manner or to provide an output with specifics that you require. Now, the other thing that you can do is ask ChatGPT to craft a prompt for you and to ask you to provide clarifications after each rendition until you have it crafted to meet your expectations. Let's try this out. I need to craft a prompt to create blog sections. Ask me all the relevant questions regarding context and background, and then ask me questions that will be relevant to the way you generate the response. Ask me questions one at a time. Here's the prompt. Let's see what we get. ChatGPT has asked me for the topic or theme of the blog. So I've entered, my topic is all about digital marketing. The audience is digital marketing professionals living in London. Then a few more details. I need to mention key benefits, quick uptake, easy access, ongoing upgrades. The USPs are real world, experience backed, up to date. The CVPs are accelerate your performance, get it right every time, first among leaders. Is there any other information you would require? Let's see what ChatGPT gives us now. The model goes on to ask for further information about the structure and format of the blog. So I've gone ahead and put in some more information. To begin with, I only need sections of the blog along with short descriptions for each section. Contain the response with the sections to 1200 words in text paragraphs. Keep the tone conversational and colloquial, suitable for audiences at an intermediate level. Incorporate the key benefits and USPs into the body of the response, where the takeaway is knowledge of digital marketing puts you ahead. Let's go with this. Finally, ChatGPT asks how broad or specific it needs to be. Here's more information for the model. Keep the perspective broad, covering a range of digital marketing activities, covering similar activities in common sections. So ChatGPT has gone on to provide a structure for a prompt, including what is required and the objective, the output requirements, starting point sections and descriptions, and the model's also asked if there are any specific details that need to be added. And there you have it, the tools and the know-how to engineer your own prompts. Before we conclude this lesson, let me explain a few techniques you should keep in mind that will aid you in getting the most out of ChatGPT. Always use clear language and specific instructions. By avoiding ambiguity, you'll get ChatGPT to respond more precisely. Then you can ladder prompts. The laddering technique involves structuring prompts to progressively build on previous responses. You can use laddering to guide the model to develop increasingly detailed and nuanced outputs. This enhances depth and specificity in the generated response. You can even ladder within a prompt itself. For example, describe the benefits of digital marketing for small businesses, then explain how it helps in cost saving, and finally, how it enhances customer reach. One of the things that many digital marketers often express concern about is that ChatGPT responses can come across as a little robotic. Unless you've been very specific about the tonality, it most likely will be. But within a conversation, you can get ChatGPT to match your writing style. By uploading sample articles or essays, for instance, you can then ask ChatGPT to generate responses in the writing style you've uploaded. For example, a part of your prompt could be write a blog post introduction in my style about the latest SEO trends. Then there's the self-critique technique. This gets the model to evaluate and refine its responses. You can enhance accuracy and coherence by getting ChatGPT to identify and address errors or areas for improvement. I'd recommend you use this for any thought leadership or authority building content. A portion of your prompt, for example, could be generate a social media post and then critique it for improvements. Then you can use the critique me technique. This lets you request constructive feedback on your inputs. ChatGPT can provide insights, suggestions, and improvements to enhance the clarity, coherence, and effectiveness of your content. As an example, a portion of a prompt could be critique my email campaign draft and suggest improvements. Creating tables is a very handy technique as well. It lets you generate organized, structured tabular data for clear presentation and comparison of information. It's easier to understand and consume large amounts of correlated information if it's in a table. For example, a portion of a prompt could be create a table comparing different digital marketing channels. Then you can get ChatGPT to make comparisons. This technique lets you generate side-by-side comparisons, highlighting differences and similarities between items for clearer, more informed decision-making. For example, a portion of a prompt could be compare the benefits of organic search versus paid search. And finally, a very handy technique is summarizations. You can get ChatGPT to summarize lengthy text or content like business reports, white papers, case studies, or research documents into concise summaries. Be sure to prompt asking the model to capture key points and essential information. For example, a portion of a prompt could be Summarize the key points from this digital marketing study, and then you go and upload a PDF, where you upload a PDF case study with the prompt. And there we have it. You now have the know-how and a template. Catch you soon.